Hello everyone. Hope you're having a good night out there, and thanks Toad Smip. Here for a night of standard Magic the Gathering, assuming that standard goes okay. And yeah, sidetrack, you know, I like to find the standard constructed brewers. I like to leave my viewers with something similar to what they were watching. Hey everybody, great to see you. Let's kick it up a notch. As always, if the music is at a weird volume or something, let me know. It's a little hard for me to tell what everyone else is hearing and how the volume levels compare. Tonight we're going to be starting out with Gruul Adventures. I've been actually liking this deck. We had a bad experience trying to play it the first time, but Numot did super well that weekend, or last weekend for the MPL splits, and I just won a couple of matches with this, so we're going to give that a go. We might also play some mono-green food tonight, possibly some green-black adventures. I still don't like rogues, but I'm more open to playing non-Yorion decks with the experiences I've had so far. Alright, so we're up against Yorion. We've got an apparition, we've got double ECD. ECD's solid against them. This hand is weird. I think I'm okay with it, but we'll see if these ECDs actually pay off, or if this is just not nearly enough pressure to get anything going. It might not be enough pressure. Hey, Jorg! 3-month resubscriber. Thank you very much for the support. And sidetrack, I do love Brawl. I think in the last Wizard survey or whatever happened recently, I was telling them they should do more formats like Brawl. Alright, we keep Kazanu Mammoth. This creature is not terrible. It's aggressive, which is nice. Do I need to find an Edgewell Innkeeper or a Great Henge or something like that? I think just a random 3-drop is not quite good enough here. I do like Shepherd of the Flock with ECD. That's a very good little combo we can get going. Just saying, this first time subscriber. Jeez. Well, we're starting off the night hot. I'm enjoying this. Thank you very much for your support. And yeah, card pool's pretty small, sidetrack. I agree. Need one more set, and then we're gonna really feel that sense of it more expansion. Okay, so we're getting Skyclaved. I can Skyclave the Skyclave. Might as well block here. These 1/1s aren't doing me much good. And I believe Skyclaving the Skyclave is going to be the plan, and then past that, we'll have to start ECDing stuff, and hoping that slows our opponent down enough that I can find an Innkeeper, a Great Henge, or a Vivian, something to really get ahead. And I'm really glad to hear that, just saying this. There's a reason I do all this talking, and it's hopefully to help people learn. And I'm glad it's working out. Alright, so even though we have ECDs for these Yorions, the problem is that we do actually need to deal with the part where the Yorion comes down and hits us. And that's the tricky part, because this Yorion's just drawing 2 cards worth of value even if we do kill it here. But we do get to start exiling a bunch of stuff. If our ECD doesn't get messed with, we can bring it back with Shepherd and then just exile their Omen of the Sun, which is one more step toward a potential victory. Okay, we get our ECD ECD'd, but then we get to ECD the opposing ECD in the classic war. Ooh, Vivian. Alright, that'll be a nice follow-up. I don't think there's much use in attacking here. So Vivian, one nice thing about Vivian is that Vivian can help us potentially find Edgewell Innkeeper at some point if she lives. Ooh. Ooh. Got him, chat. Got him, chat. Nice try. Nice try. Ooh, and that's an Edgewell Innkeeper. You love to see it. I don't think we're casting that yet, but you do love to see it anyway. Get out of here with that. None of this. None of this. Well, congrats, just saying this. That's still a good record. Great starting point. So I could have jammed the Innkeeper there. We've already seen 2 Skyclave apparitions, but I was still a little bit nervous about more of those coming down. On the other hand, I don't know how this deck beats a Dream Trawler. I feel like Kenji might have forgotten about this card when he was making all these plans. Yeah, how do we beat a Dream Trawler, chat? I guess we go Vivian. And we're gonna dig our way, make a reachy guy, cast a flyery guy. Now we can actually let Vivian die here and get her back with ECD perhaps, but this is gonna be a challenge. Vivian's like worth a card a turn, so if they don't have ECD number 3, we might be fine. I also prefer they not jam a Yorion at this exact moment in time. Giant Killer, yeah, that's not, I mean, that's like saying Heartless Act, right, Kevlar Man? Maybe you're just being sarcastic here, but I feel like Giant Killer is not quite gonna solve our Dream Trawler problem. I guess it's actually just putting a bunch of material in front of this thing, which we can realistically do. Ah, the creature side. No, now it all makes sense. Now it all makes sense. All right, so we're gonna put a 1/1/1/1 counter on that, and honestly, we kind of get to go off a little bit here. I could try to do something cute with Vivian where I like tutor out another Edgewell Innkeeper and then start really going off. I feel like it's not time for that just yet. What is the opponent doing? Waiting. Probably Shark Typhoon or some more Omens, I guess? Anyway, let's just start with Innkeeper. Hey, Cerisium7 month resubscriber, one of my longest running supporters. Very grateful for your presence here. Thanks so much. Okay, so we got a land on top. I can still draw through that one though, so I think I'm gonna try to do that here. Yep, so we got 2 beasts with reach, we got the Giant Killer option. We have ways to do this. Angel's also probably pretty good for that. I think we're just jamming Lovestruck Beast at this point, right? So I can -2 the Vivian. I've got 5 points of kind of reachy toughness here. I could minus the Vivian to go search up an Edgewall, but I think I'd just rather draw this Amiria's Call at this point. So let's just draw the Amiria's Call. Oh my lord. 50 emotes shared and a bunch of tier 1 subs. Jorg, however you say it. Wow, that is one of the most generous gifts I think we've ever had on the stream. Thank you. Doesn't feel like an adequate thing to say, but it's what I'm gonna say. Please, yes, help us make it bigger. Spread the gospel of Little Beep, whatever that means. No attacks yet. I feel like this is a 4/4 shark. Nope, just more omens. All right, so we are not done yet. Shatter the Sky could shatter our dreams at any moment here, but we're like kind of doing okay. Even like a Yorion is not the end of the world here. We have pretty good attacks starting next turn, especially with this Amiria's Call coming down. I don't know what's going to happen here. At the very least, we're going to try and make him work for it. We are a bit behind on time right now. Nightlife Games, thanks for the follow. Wow, what a gift. And I'll say to you, George, what I say to everybody who does the sub thing, which is if there's ever anything I can do for you, please do let me know. All right, so Dream Trawler's coming in. Opponent's got their plan all planned out. It's not really a problem though. We have our own version of this. So this is until your next turn. So our whole plan of attacking is not that spectacular. What are we taking out with Apparition? I guess it's just an Omen of the Sea, I think. I could use this with Vivian to search. Do I just cast Amiria's Call this turn? So I wanna tap Dream Trawler. I wanna leave Giant Killer up. So I don't think this is Amiria's Call turn. I think we just start playing stuff off the top and see what comes out of that. So Apparate. Yeah, we'll go with Omen of the Sea here. Now see here. Jam the Ooze. Hold up a giant killer activation. Use Vivian to make... We're just going to keep making reach tokens because they've got these angels. And we're sort of like fighting through this a little bit. A little bit. Attacking really doesn't make any sense because everything's indestructible over there. But I really don't know what happens. It's going to depend on if they have main deck shatters. I'm guessing they have some. If they do main deck shatter, the fact that they still have a Yorion here waiting in the wings is pretty bad. If they find a third ECD for Vivian, that would also be pretty bad. Second Dream Trawler is a thing to be scared of from a Glasspool Mimic or something like that. And yeah, everybody fill out the survey. I would like to do some... Now that we finally got everything comfortable with like the tech setup and I've got like this top of the line mic, I feel like I'm really riding the streamer high, and I would like to immediately start to challenge myself by putting some weird stuff together. I think my personal favorite might be the Beso Profundo stream. All right, I do not think my giant killer is going to live through this. Okay, so this tells me there's probably a Yorion in my near future. Is there a Yorion in my near future opponent? Okay, so tap you. I almost wonder if tapping an angel makes more sense there, but it's possible they have some kind of instant speed interaction. Getting to take out an angel token here is nice. Vivian lives. Doesn't look like they should have Omen of the Forge. I'm pretty sure they're just straight blue-white. Nightlife Games, I've been enjoying it so far. I've made extremely minor changes, like a couple of tiny sideboard tweaks. But the main deck is untouched. I've been enjoying the main deck. Numbers like 2 ECD will feel pretty good to me. Alright, and Yorion's coming down, so opponent's going to get 2 tokens, they're going to get some cards, they're going to get to eat this beast. We still get to untap with a Vivian. Questing Beast also presents a reasonable offensive threat to them. Now, the fact that they can get a Yorion loop set up and I don't have any way to stop that right now is a concern. Yep, going after Giant Killer, not really a big surprise. Don't have any way to kill this right now. Opponent is a little behind us on time, and this game is going to go long. And this is like serious tournament practice, so I am perfectly willing to make this game go really long. And really like play it out as though it were in the Arena Open or something like that. Ooh, hit another Giant Killer. That's pretty good, that's pretty good. I also need to not mill out. Which could be kind of tricky. So we're gonna jam this. This feels like it's probably supposed to be the Amiria's call turn. Skyclave Apparition. Ooh, Skyclave Apparition takes out Glass Casket. That's actually pretty good. So I guess I'm actually doing that then? Can apparate the casket, I can make another flyer. But Dream Trawler gets to attack unopposed if I do that, versus if I play Amiria's Call, I'm pretty unstoppable for now. Yeah, this is supposed to be the Amiria's Call turn, I think. Saving Skyclave Apparition also lets me break up like a Charming Prince or something like that if they go after that. Okay, so we're gonna make our reach token first, then we'll give everything indestructible. I guess I should Temple of Plenty first in case I hit a good creature off of this. Not doing everything in the perfect order here. Another Giant Killer. No, I think this is the Amiria's Call turn. I'm just gonna go for this. We don't get like incredible attacks off of this because they've got the Dream Trawler to block pretty safely, but I will at least swing with Lovestruck Beast. Nice, 5 damage secured, chat. 5 damage secured. This matchup is very hard, by the way. This is, I'm sure, the green-white. This and like green-white Yorion are like the nightmare matchups for the green-white deck. I think what this deck is meant to do is beat up on Gruul, be good against rogues, be good against like mono-red and mono-green and that sort of thing. Okay, opponent keeps going after Giant Killer. I guess Maze Mine Tome. Alright, so they don't have another Yorion right away. Do definitely need to get rid of one of these glass caskets, because if these start eating like my angel tokens, it's quite bad. Feels like my opponent probably should be eating my angel tokens, but what do I know? Alright, I very unlikely be minusing Vivian anytime soon, just because I think we need to... I guess if I do minus Vivian, I can fetch another Skyclave Apparition. So if I like minus Vivian, I can cast Questing Beast, get Skyclave, eat a glass casket, play another Skyclave, eat another glass casket, and then Dream Trawler is just never getting in, and I might actually be able to start setting up pretty good attacks. So that's a cool idea. That's a cool idea. Actually, I want to kill Yorion, right? I want to kill Yorion before that can get blinked, or at least hold up the ability to kill Yorion. Tricky, tricky turn. Alright, what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to start by killing Yorion. Hopefully. Hopefully they're not doing something like, I don't know. I guess I could also Skyclave the Maze Mine Tome. Negate. Okay, well I didn't see that coming. Main deck Negate. Good to know, good to know. Alright, well now I'm in a bit of a puzzling position. I think I'm actually going after Tome now. The caskets aren't really a threat to get blinked. I think I want to take out their source of cards. And just keep making tokens with Vivian. We'll attack with Lovestruck here. Darn, really should have... they were holding up Negate there the whole time. There wasn't really any way I was getting rid of that Yorion there. Great, if they want to throw a bunch of small creatures at the Lovestruck Beast, I don't mind that. I want to get this board clear. That way if I do eventually find a way to clear out some of these caskets, they have fewer chump blockers. And just keep making reach tokens. And I think I'm not jamming the second ooze, actually. I just don't see the purpose of doing that. Feels like ooze doesn't really add much to the board, and the opponent probably does have shatters. Okay, Yorion is up, and now the opponent can get a little bit of a Yorion loop going. They don't have any attacks that make any sense, unless they want to like attack with their Yorion to eat one of my tokens. Which seems much worse than getting a double blink. No, they're just passing. Fascinating. Okay, so I get to start eating some stuff out of my yard. Scavenging Ooze is now a reasonable attacking threat. Would really love to find that last giant killer. I think I've got one more. Okay, I think it's worth trying to shuffle now with Vivian. I'm gonna go for a -2. Jam Questerson. Possibly getting Essence Scattered, but whatever. What do I want to grab here? So it's Innkeeper, or it's the last Skyclave to eat a glass casket and get a giant killer back. I think it's Skyclave. Possible I actually want to eat Omen of the Sea because that's much more dangerous with the Yorion blinks, but I'm trying to kind of get offensive and go for game here. Okay, Henge on top is going to at least help me draw the rest of my deck pretty fast post-Shatter if it comes to that. Should I be just swinging all out here? I've got so much crap on the board, but there's a Dream Trawler. There's a Dream Trawler. I feel like I'm actually winning, but there are many ways our opponent could just easily reverse the situation. Ooh, I get to kill this Yorion? That's incredible news. Please give me this Yorion. Fantastic. Alright, and I've even got an ooze to eat that out of the graveyard later if the opponent has ambitions of ECDing. I'm guessing they're probably looking for an ECD pretty hard with this Vantress. That or a Shatter. A Shatter would give them a 2-2, a 2-2, and a 2-2. 3 2-2s. Which I can deal with. And now that we have a Giant Killer, we get to start attacking for absolute stacks of damage next turn. So they've got to have a pretty good turn in terms of representing board presence. I think just a Yorion alone is not going to do too much. And they should be pretty behind on time. 20 minutes, 30 seconds. Nope, we're behind on time. Alright, so I'm going to be trying to play pretty fast here. If I can get the opponent down like 2 minutes lower than us by the time game 2 starts, I'm going to feel pretty good. Bottom 2 cards there, I think. So what they could do here is Yorion into Shatter, killing their own Yorion, but then saving their Dream Trawler and wiping out all my tokens. Or they could start wiping out my tokens with Baron. That's also pretty decent, but not that exciting. Like, this doesn't seem like it fundamentally transforms the character of what's going on as long as I have this Vivian. And yes, Kevlar Man, I don't disagree. That does seem like a plausible outcome. Gonna be curious to see if this Baron sends their Yorion back, or if they're gonna eat my other Angel here. The classy play is to send back Yorion, but nope, just doing that. I mean, I'm sure they have plenty of other ways to get more triggers off of this thing. Okay, we had a Fairy Guide Mother. Does that do anything? Well, I guess we're about to find out. Alright, so we get to basically dump the rest of our deck onto the board here. Exciting stuff. This Henge is going to be expensive no matter what we do. Hope they don't have another gate. If they do have another gate, then it's kind of daggers, but nice, nice. We do have to make sure not to draw too much of our deck. Okay, so they've got a 4-5. We've got just like so many 3-3s. So many 3-3s. Too many 3-3s. I honestly don't want to play this Innkeeper out yet. It might draw me too many cards. You get to pump the Mammoth, which means that's a decent attacker. Questerson comes in again. So these are good attacks. Honestly, maybe I am tapping Trawler here. Tap Trawler, I get to swing with 5 3-3s. Pile of 2-2s. 5-5 and a 5-5. I'm out of mana at that point. Ochre Door. Is it doing something weird or is it just ugly? I'm not sure what the implication is. All right, we're going for it, chat. This might be premature, but I'm going for it. Let's crack in and do some work. So, Smork, 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 Smork. Leave back 2 reach creatures, 3 reach creatures. All right, this might be disastrous. We might die to this, but I feel like we're probably going to draw our deck before we actually get through our opponent's board, and I want to challenge them to make some decisions here. Leroy Jenkins has been called. Like the rest of my deck contains like a Giant Killer. We do have a bunch of Shepherd of the Flocks left. It's possible I should be like Shepherd of the Flocky and trying to do cool stuff with that. Okay, what comes of that? So they're down to 14. They get some tokens. I have plenty of blockers for the tokens. I guess I could have attacked with another 3-3 that turn. Gremlins. Well, I don't think repainting the door really does much about the gremlins. Feels like a logical fallacy. Okay, 24 cards in library. Reasonably shatterproof. This smells like an attack from someone who has a copy of the magic card Shatter the Sky, or I don't even know what it would be. Okay. $17.5 minutes to 18 minutes. We've gotten a little bit ahead. Okay, it was just another dream trawler. That's not much. Another glass casket. What are we eating now? Okay, that makes sense. We are out of Skyclave apparitions. We've got a bunch of Shepherd of the Flocks like this one, which can bring back Skyclave apparition and just eat caskets, which is a lot of fun. All right, I'm just gonna try and I'm just gonna be making plays to save time here principally. So plan here is we're going to not cast that. That would be really bad. Please put that back. Thank you. Tap this, get this down. Still avoiding these innkeepers because I feel like we have enough cards. We don't really need more cards right now. I feel heretical even saying it, but I think that's where we're at. And I'm gonna go with... Yeah, alright. Usher to safety, get back the apparition. Trying to just play quickly here. We get even more cards. Lots of fun. And if I can find another shepherd, that could be pretty productive. So I'm going to try to go for another shepherd here. All the lands in the world. One more try. 17 cards in library here. There's another shepherd. Okay, so we can draw that, which I am going to try and do here. Okay, and there's a dream trawler that I can't tap down right now. I think I'm just going to make a reach token and pass with shepherd in hand. And then I actually... Do I cast this Lovestruck Beast? I don't think I do. I think I just pass. Is that crazy? I could also free up my other... No, I'm going to wait. We'll attack with this, because this has... There's nothing that blocks this well. I actually should have attacked with Mammoth there too, I think, but I'm honestly pretty confused about what's even going on at this point. I had more attacks there, I think. Sanctum! Oh yeah, did we play when I was in the Mutate deck? I was enjoying that. It didn't seem like a very serious competitive deck, though. It's just like a little bit too vulnerable to a bunch of stuff. I'm not sure how it ever beats Rogues. Opponent's a little bit behind on time, and they're also desperate. Like, what is this? They have a Shatter yet? Their deck only plays 2, and they've seen less than half their deck, which is pretty funny. Okay, I'm definitely taking out this Dream Trawler now. Don't think they have instant speed creature removal. If they show me a Brazen Borrower here, then well done. Tacos, tacos, that is... I am amused by this. Alright, going after Questerson. They're going after Questerson. Does that mean I get Questerson back here? Or is it more important to get Giant Killer back and just kill this Yorion? I'm going for Questerson. I think we've got him. I think we've got too much aggro here and we're going to kill them, chat. That's what I think is going to happen. No, chat. Chat, it was all vanity. All is vanity, chat. Alright, we still got a Giant Killer. We've got an enormous board here, so I think we're going to get him. Gonna eat their stuff now. A lot of Dream Trawlers. Oof. Alright, yeah, this is gonna be a big ol' attack. I think, oh, that's an Amiria's Call also. Alright, so we're just gonna make everything indestructible now, chat. That's the current plan. Everything is gonna be indestructible. It's gonna be awesome. We're almost out of cards, but not quite. We got 10 left. 10 will be fine. Opponent's only at 20 life. That's nothing. We can take him out. Oh, also everything's indestructible, so Shatter no longer works anyway. Let's hope this resolves. Splendid. All right. And I believe the phrase that one uses for this kind of situation is everybody in the club getting tipsy. Everybody in the club getting tipsy here. Everybody's attacking. We're going to hold back with, I guess, the innkeepers, which I'd be happy to chump block. Probably I was supposed to use Giant Killer there somehow, but yep. Opponent just couldn't figure it out. That worked well. I imagine we're about even on time. I want this ECD. I want Heliod's Intervention. Just taking out a bunch of glass caskets is pretty good. Not a big fan of... I'm always siding this card out. It just seems like games never come down to this. Like, we are going to be grinding with them, and that's just kind of the way it goes. I liked about 2 Scavenging Ooze. I think they're pretty important against DCD. I liked the Questing Beasts, just as a way to actually apply pressure in those games. I could cut like 1 henge. Maybe that's crazy. It's probably crazy to cut a henge. I don't really want to do that. Let's I think I just cut another Guide Mother. Yeah, Sanctum. I was just tired of the game mostly. If I'm not playing on stream, you'll see me concede early sometimes if I'm like, I feel like I'm pretty dead and I just don't feel like playing this out. This hand has a reasonable aggressive curve in my opponent mulligan. I've got a Questing Beast, I've got a Temple of Plenty for turn 1. I think I'm keeping this. This might be too bad. Like, average Multisect actually is probably a bit better than this, but I really like having a Questing Beast available. Although drawing land into land is not perfect. Yeah, this hand was probably a little greedy. I do also like the Amiria's Call. This is a card that actually comes down and does stuff in these games. Yeah. Shepherd's not the easiest card to use in these spots. Yorion to hand early on, sure thing. Another Amiria's Call. Alright, Lovestruck's coming down. Probably getting Skycleaved, but we'll see. Alright, so... yeah, alright, Edgewell Innkeeper is kind of neat. I don't dislike that. So then I think the move is to go with... play Innkeeper and pass, and then hope the opponent's plan to blink the Apparition fails when we bounce our Innkeeper back to our hand. I basically want to play Questing Beast. Yep, alright, so this is nice, this is nice. They're going to bounce the Apparition. I'm going to get a 3/3 back. Then I'm going to save my Edgewall. Means... another Edgewall. Okay, so I guess I'm just going on that plan. Oh, it doesn't have much offensive presence. I'm trying to draw toward like a henge. ECD is also pretty great. Hey there, Weed. And yes, the ninja, the innkeepers actually were going to make a magnificent stand and not die at all. You are correct. No! Alright, well, let's hope they don't have a Glasspool Mimic to blink this Yorion and blink multiple apparitions. Alright. Given that, this is fine. We just get to start playing Amiria's Calls pretty soon. I think we go for... okay, didn't scare an Omen of the Sun out of them. Let's try this ECD. Resolves, great. We're taking down the Yorion or an Apparition. They have another Yorion, then taking the Apparition's much better. Thinking it But the Yorion does such a good job blocking the call tokens. I'm taking Yorion out. I'm going to cast a Miria's Call into a Miria's Call. And my opponent's not going to be able to block these angels and they're going to die. That's the plan. Dream Trawler, okay. Plans on hold a bit. So, still doing the call thing. No sense in attacking because they've got the lifelink up. I have like a Baron that would be very bad. Baron and Glass Casket are what I'm trying to avoid here. Seems like they're about to maybe do some card drawing if they're thinning now. Okay, that's reasonable. But now what's the plan? I think I start with Questerson. See if this gets countered. Cool, it did not. Gets eaten by a shark, maybe? No. Cool. Okay, gonna Giant Killer. Don't have any Yorions to assassinate right now. And then do I play this Mammoth as a land? I'm thinking no. I think I just wait. So they're gonna start scrying. If they can find another Yorion, they can wipe out my Giant Killer and my other Innkeeper or my Questing Beast. And that's probably gonna kill me, but they are at 13 minutes now. Oh, I'm at 12 minutes. Yikes. Okay. Yeah, if y'all have any questions about the specialty ideas listed on the survey, do let me know. Be happy to try and answer those. Weed Magic, I have not tried Bant Enigmatic Yorion. I'd be worried about how bad the mana is, and I'd be worried about it. Basically, anything you do to add Clunk to Yorion just means you're going to get eaten alive by rogues, which is not that appealing. Okay, opponent went for the Shatter. Means Dream Trawler is down. Now what do I do? Do I just Amiria's Call again?
We need to
could get negated. I could go Mammoth.
That's the goal.
I think it's just Amiria's Call again. Like, what else am I doing with my life here? Possibly just getting negated. That would be fine. Also can't be spending that much time thinking. And honestly, I'm going to go with Kazandu Valley here. I just have so much stuff in the graveyard now. There's actually a lot of value in having more green mana for the uses. I think it's going to be hard to get the Mammoth down, and I can always bounce it back to my hand with Shepherd if I really need another threat. So opponent now needs a Yorion or a Dream Trawler to hold off the Angels, or their own Angels. That also works. Tradesies have been called. Okay, so we're just going to be presenting one powerful threat at a time here. Scavenging uses a 5/5 at least. If they try to Casket it, I can save it. If they try to Apparition it, I can save it. If they cast another Amiria's Call, that's fine. This ooze is big enough to just smash through the Angels at this point, and they don't seem to have an answer. Glad we have this last green source now. I do have 4 creatures in the yard, great. Vivian, nice. Okay, so this is hitting. I think we just go ahead and...
We need to become Aaron Gertler tonight, chat. That's the goal. We need to become Aaron Gertler tonight, chat. That's the goal.
Make another good threat while keeping open a little bit of ooze mana and the shepherd mana. They have another Amiria's Call, things get pretty hard. We are threatening good damage. Giant Killer the Ooze. Alright, so I don't want this Giant Killer coming down, so we are going to go ahead and save the Ooze. If we can. Would seem that we can't. Interesting, alright. So now we're somewhat behind on beating these angels.
We need to become Aaron Girdler tonight, chat. That's the goal.
Vivian, not quite enough here. What I really need is one of my own Giant Killers. Giant Killer would be pretty ideal. Opponent at least has to sit and do some math. Opponent's definitely not playing Lucky Yorion Weed Magic. They're just blue-white. They're just blue-white. ECD, great. ECD hits absolutely nothing. Smash with Love Struck, still pretty happy to trade this for an angel because I have another ooze that can come and eat it. And I believe that's what I'm going to do here. I could also Vivian plus make a reach creature play an ooze. If they can kill the reach creature, they then just get to kill Vivian, which is awful. I think I want to hold on to Vivian a bit better than that. I don't know, it's possible I'm being too conservative. They have Castle Vantress, they've got a lot of card selection, I don't have that right now, so as time goes on, they are just going to get further ahead. Yeah, they can also tap the reach creature, just like we're not keeping Vivian alive at this rate. Baraha, the ideas are for entire streams that we would do. If it turns out that a concept sucks and it's really bad, we would stop doing it. All right, here goes. Another land. So Ooze is getting tapped. We are going to try and attack with the 1/1s. If they have an Omen of the Sun, that's too bad. Get our hits in. Let's... Alright, so I'm throwing off a naked ECD. I feel a bit silly about it, and they might just have an ECD of their own, but like, I've got to do something. I've got to do something. We'll try to make sure I'm scooping if I get too far behind here to make sure I have enough time to win game 3. Yep, not super surprised to see this, unfortunately. They have nothing to get back with it, so it's really not that bad, but it is an adequate counter, and that's a Maze Mind Tome. Problematic. I guess I probably do want Wilt, actually, against the Maze Mind Tome deck. I'll leave a Questing Beast in there in case I hit my other ECD. Skyclave Apparition, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, okay. I'm feeling it. So the question is, am I eating their Maze Mind Tome? Is that the plan? I think the plan is like... So I can Vivian, I can down-tick Vivian, cast Apparition, and grab like Giant Killer? Maybe that's actually fine? Then just tapping all their stuff? No, let's go with... No, I really want to eat this tome. I really want to eat this tome. Alright, eating the tome, I'm going to present Vivian. Make a 3/3. If they want to tap the 3/3, it doesn't work out that well for them, because then I have a 3/3 coming back and attacking them. This is like me going the aggro plan, like the somewhat higher risk, higher reward strategy, where if this fails, we're in trouble. Ooh, I could have... Alright. Could have tried to cast Vivian first too, was on top of my deck there, I suppose. Alright, so they're going for the kill Vivian strategy, which puts them facing a lot of power. Guess the question's just, do they have a Yorion? Shatter the sky. Okay. So they have a giant killer to resurrect now. I draw Miria's Call though. Alright, that is the kind of thing we needed. Don't you dare have another negate. No, no. Alright. Well, we'll give it like another turn here, but probably gonna need to move on to the next game soon against Castle Vantris. If I hit like a Great Henge, maybe that's not the case. Okay, well, let's try that. Oh, it takes all my mana? Alright, don't scry another ECD, please. Please no. Still have a chance, chat, still have a chance. Needs to not be another ECD from them.
We need to become Aaron Gertler.
And yes, I can shepherd the mammoth back to my hand, which is pretty exciting, but you definitely need to cast Great Henge that turn. So if Great Henge lives, we've got a shot. Okay, Great Henge looks to be living, so here goes. Tap this first, I guess. Nice. Okay. Now I'm wondering if my opponent has like several devastating cards in hand and they're just trying to stall me out. Noise. Okay, taking out the giant killer here. Yeah, this feels like it can be made to be a pretty even matchup somehow, sometimes. Yep, negate would have been really bad there, Rickety, but we've already seen 2 of them. And I'd honestly be pretty surprised if our opponent were wielding that many negates. And now I get to hold back Shepherd. In case of, say, Glass Casket coming down to eat Skyclave Apparition, let's say. How about we don't? Yep, gotta love the Great Henge. Gotta love the Great Henge. Alright, Apparition comes down, but that's okay. As long as it's not killing the Henge, I think we're in okay shape. Alright, opponent's pretty determined to wipe out all my stuff, but we have good attacks this turn. Not great, but fine. Oh, that's a Questerson. Why don't we start there? Hey, giant killer. Don't mind that one either. Let's eat. Let's start with Shepherd, actually. And then we'll go ahead and... Are we eating the Baron here? I think so. It can block. It can get bounced by Yorion. Again, not much time to think here, so we're just going to be going with whatever seems good. Yeah, Kenji built a lovely deck here. I'm really happy about how this one's put together. Smork, everybody's swinging in. Opponent's already cast 2 Shatters, I think. And I'm just going to keep drawing cards while the card drawing's good. This card is very, very good. Might still be second best card in Standard, which is where I had it at the beginning of this new format. After Yorion, although maybe now it's second best after Into the Story or something. Another Shatter, okay. Doesn't really help though, we got plenty of time to kill you. And looks like they're out of gas here. Imagine being a Yorion deck out of gas, chat. Starting with the Mammoth, because if we draw an Innkeeper, we want to have saved the adventure creatures in hand, of course. Alright, starting to run low on stuff. The question is, do we jam Giant Killer to keep the train going? I think we do. I think we do. Upside's just way too high of finding something we can cast, and... Alright. We sort of whiffed. Having the extra Great Henge is nice, but there are ways our opponent could bring this back. Kazandu Mammoth is still the biggest boy on the board. Okay, that's promising. Opponent's also having to pay attention to their clock, and they're dead. Nice. They weren't actually dead, but they didn't know that, and that is quite a match to kick off the stream. Meanwhile, I missed a bunch of follows because that was super intense. But let me catch up to y'all. Luck Vamp, K Mijares, 69 Spicy Fart, David, and Ekrabe. Thank you all for your follows. Yep, End of the Story might be the one. That was a like 45-minute match or something.
That's the goal.
The Beautiful Uncanny, thanks for the follow, and sorry for clicking the wrong area there for a second, chat. Okay, double Amelia's Call, Fairy Guide Mother, Skyclave Apparition. I think this is a mole. This hand doesn't really do anything. Okay, we have a Kazandu Mammoth. Hand officially does something. I'm ditching Scoos? Vivian? I think it's Vivian. Okay, so we need to find some adventure creatures. Now it feels like classic green-white adventure gameplay. Evolving Wilds. So this typically means that Scoot Swarms are going to be involved in this game. We are pretty cold to a Scoot Swarm. Unless we have a very good draw. Edgewall and Keeper. Okay, maybe it's not Scoot Swarm. Alright, we get to see their second color. Are we green red? Are we green black? Are we green white? Okay, just regular old green red adventures already then, so... Alright, well, all out offense is definitely the order of the day here. Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, the, right, Evolving Wilds for those brush fire elementals. I like the start we're off to. Goes after Innkeeper, smart. Basically, if we can get this Great Henge down safely, we're in pretty good shape. Like, green producing lands are good here. Shepherd of the Flock is quite good here. Am I using that yet? Am I just casting it? No, definitely not casting. We're casting Innkeeper, we're casting Fairy Guide Mother, holding up Shepherd, double Shepherd. So I could bring back a land, but there's not really any point to doing that. Guess we'll just wait and we'll protect Innkeeper at all costs. Begun the Scoos Wars have. And they've got mana to munch. Okay. Alright. So the question is, am I bringing back Guide Mother now to just draw more cards off it? Seems like the right way to go about this. So far, my concho, I like green-white Yorion more. It's much more like the kind of playstyle I like. But I think this deck is probably better in the current format. Goodness, we are really in search of lands here. Skyclave Apparition's pretty good, at least. We can kill this other Innkeeper, though we are fresh out of Innkeepers, which is not amazing. Ay, que lástima. Okay. Jeez, alright. Yeah, Fairy Guide Mother, I think, wants to be like a 2 of in this deck, if that. This card is just so catastrophically weak if you're not doing something crazy with it. So I can apparate the Innkeeper, I could apparate the Ooze. I think I gotta apparate the Innkeeper here. Like, we're probably just not going to win this one because we have no lands. But we're at least keeping it tight. It's possible that playing Lovestruck at some point there was like the right move, just to have... Wow, really happy they're giving us this double block on the ooze. Ooh, and now I can get Apparition back to my hand if I draw another white source, or I could just Giant Killer. Feel like Giant Killer has been called. And yep, the better rogues match up. I mean, just it feels smoother somehow. Like, it feels like you can actually beat, like, Team or Ramp, mostly. The ladder is full of all this random nonsense people are playing. Alright, opponent is jamming even more stuff. Darn it! Alright, we've officially drawn more copies of Shepherd of the Flock than we have copies of the magic card Land.
We need to become Aaron Girdler tonight.
I think this is just Lovestruck Beast now. I could be trying to bring back Apparition to eventually recast it, but I think I'd rather just have lands get me the Great Henge and also have a good blocker. Okay, so opponent has their Henge. If I can get a green source, have my Henge. Oh god, alright, so... Yep, just didn't draw lands and died. Is looking like the story of the game. We're not quite aggressive enough to be able to finish them off with this Fairy Guide Mother. Alright, well, never mind. We have a henge. We have a henge. The battle is joined. They have an innkeeper. So it's gonna be challenging. But it's plausible that we could figure out a win here. I really need another white source, though. Hey, Morphos, thanks for the follow. Okay, so opponent's getting several cards off of this. The problem is that because they have Embercleave, if we're both doing about equal amounts of stuff, our opponent's just going to be able to set up until they get something disastrous. This Innkeeper's also pretty bad news. Like, if my draw next turn is exactly Edgewell Innkeeper, then we're maybe back at parity. I also have ECD, so if I could take out their Henge, maybe that's something. Guess it's nice they're not cleaving us or primal mighting us just yet. Spoke too soon. No, they can't cleave here. They can stomp like Apparition. Stomp Guide Mother. Fascinating. Kazandu Mammoth. Well, that's a really bad land, but it is a land. I've got to chop down... I don't really have a chop down. Alright, so we're going to start... I'm going to start by playing this, seeing where this takes us. Ooh, a white source. Alright, that's great, that's great. So now I get to go with... Now I get to cast the Kazandu Mammoth. Skyclave Apparition. Alright, so I'm taking out this Innkeeper. I believe I'm just taking out this Innkeeper. If my opponent has an Embercleave, they're going to get to hit us really hard for one turn, but... then we can maybe get something back. Feels like we're behind, but maybe not irrevocably so. These scavengers are really big, is a problem. Basically should be treating graveyards. Alright, 5 creatures in graveyards. Okay, the Brushfires are not too bad. Never mind, the Brushfires are very bad now. Okay, so we're taking 50 billion damage, which makes sense. If you have a Great Henge and Innkeeper in play for a turn, you're going to be able to set up a pretty strong turn of this kind, and I assume this is going to be paired with Embercleave to just kill us. Still, I think it's impressive that we were able to actually hang with them at all with how bad the draw was.
We need to become Aaron Girdler tonight, Chad. That's the goal.
Not really any point in holding back your opponent. You might as well hit us with what you're going to hit us with. Alright, so let's assume they don't have Cleave. What am I doing in that scenario? Double blocking a Brushfire, probably. I think that's it. If they have Cleave, we're dead, but if they had Cleave, we were dead anyway. There's not really any set of blocks that gets us out of this. Non-all attack might mean no cleave, but I'll be darned if I know. Okay, sick. Sick, sick, sick. They're gonna have a cleave sooner or later, but the game is still tenable. Scorching Dragonfire, okay. Edgewall Innkeeper looking kind of good, Oh, they've got so much crap though, chat. They've got so much crap. And Shepherd of the Flock is a horrible blocker. Another Henge, awesome. So I could bring back Innkeeper and just cast it again to get another card. I think I need to bring back Giant Killer and shoot Lovestruck Beast. What am I even doing there? They just have so many giant creatures. Maybe I'm supposed to cast as many 4/2s that draw cards as possible? I think I'm actually starting with that. Let's just cast 4/2s that draw cards. And maybe one of the cards will be a Giant Killer. We still have enough mana to shepherd back a Giant Killer and use it. And I think that's the plan. I would like to retain the ability to do that. Weed Magic, I don't know. I haven't played against Team Ramp with this deck, and it seems like this deck should have a pretty good Team Ramp matchup because it's pretty aggressive. Maybe you would want more copies of Questing Beast or something like that. Okay, so Brushfire Elemental can get Giant Killered. Big attacks, no surprise. So, block here, block here, block here, block here. They've got enough mana to make the Ooze an 8/8, which doesn't quite kill me. If they have Embercleave, I don't think there's any way I can survive an Embercleave here, sadly. I think I just have to hope they don't have it again. I guess I could block Apparition on this Ooze and just lose it. Maybe that's better. Yeah, maybe that's actually better. I guess I could bring the Apparition back with Shepherd. I could bring both of them back and just ignore the Brushfire. And yes, the goal is to have them play Embercleave, so I think I have to block in such a way they actually feel compelled to cast the Embercleave. I'm going with this, and we're going to see what they do here. They're not doing anything. Okay, so then... Alright, I'm actually going to usher back Apparition here. And if they have Cleave, I'm dead. If they have Cleave, I'm dead, but they were good and patient and not using it. So we're going to do that. Going to do this. And hope their hand is just a bunch of lands. Extremely dead to Cleave. No Cleave, half their deck, no Cleave yet. Okay, they've got a big board over there, but I have some of the tools I need to shut some of it down. This may turn out to have been too much. Okay. That's alright, really didn't need the cards that much. Alright, this is going to be interesting. So... these oozes are still so 3/3, it bothers me. Okay, so plan is to chop down Apparition, one of the oozes. And I believe we just jammed Shepherd Killer. Still hoping they just don't find an Embercleave. Alban, do you mean the one I'm playing or the one my opponent's playing? I'm not sure what this deck is meant to refer to here. At the very least, it's a thrilling game. Like, this is fun. I'm enjoying myself for sure. No problem, all hand. Oh, mine. Yeah, I like it. I don't know how good it is relative to the format. It's going to depend on what you're playing against, like everything, but I have been enjoying this. Opponent putting lots of emphasis on the fact that we're dead to Embercleave. Or I guess Gemrazor, if they have Gemrazor in their deck somewhere. They probably even do have Gemrazors, which would certainly kill me on this ooze now. At worst, it's close to reasonable. That's definitely one way to put it. Alright. Dead to a lot. Shadow Skull Smashing also quite lethal here. Okay, that doesn't do it. That it? Okay, wow. All right, we might be able to pull out of this somehow, maybe? All right, opponents I guess just got lands in hand right now. We're about to ECD this stupid henge. Right? We do just ECD the stupid henge. So if I ECD the henge and I hold up a giant killer and I cast Shepherd of the Flock, we're sort of still fine. Okay, yep. Still okay, still living. All hand. Kvartek just played this deck? Kroki's played this deck? Huh, I don't remember any of that, but cool. Now, it's entirely possible the better play there was to cast an Amiria's Call, have a couple of indestructible blockers, and try to hope the opponent top decked another land or something. Because Scavenging Ooze abyssing us is a real problem. I mean, I guess I can Giant Killer it. We'll just wait and see what happens. We do need to play around Embercleave, though, because we are still dead to it. And they are through more than half their deck now. Rushfire, okay. Land. Okay, so they just drew this, which means they don't have Embercleave in hand still, which means, alright, let's see what happens. Everybody in the club coming in, okay? Weed Magic, haven't played against that deck yet. I will say this is like my 4th match with Green-White Adventures. 5th, I guess. And, yeah, this is not a deck I have a lot of experience with. Oh, just randomly gaining life, which makes sense, because I am more likely to be casting Scavenging Oozes here than they are. Haha. Yeah, no problem, Alhan. Feel free to ask questions. I'm just trying to ask clarifying questions. But yes, I am a big fan of the deck, the way it's been playing out. I love Shepherd of the Flock, basically. I always wanted to find a way to play that in a Clover deck, and I never could. Alan Greer, missed you for a while, but thank you for following, if you're still around. Alright, taking out these troublesome Brushfire Elementals. Hey there, Tamwam. Or Tammy, as you sometimes prefer to be known. How goes it? Okay, that's a lot of good stuff we got going. We're going to start with this scavenging ooze. I actually want to hold it more green for that then. Start with Giant Killer. That's nice. That's nice. I like that. So I guess there's this question of like, can we arrange it to not be dead to a cleave now? And actually, maybe I should be paying attention to not being dead to a cleave. I think we're okay now. I think we're okay. We have a lot of toughness. Skycleave Apparition. All right, that should actually close the door on cleave being an out. So we're gonna do that. Eat this Lovestruck Beast. I can't believe we won this freaking game, chat. 3 cheers for being the like deck with more stuff going on. That was difficult and thrilling. Like, this standard format is lit. And Weed, I will allow the nice comeback. This is not a game I thought I was going to win, unlike all the Teamer Clover deck games where I'm like, eventually I'll get him. I feel like if you're scavenging ooze eats the scavenging ooze, you should get like 2 counters because you're like eating especially well. All right, well, let's just clean up the game now. And yeah, being slightly lazy here, but I think we've got this now. Poor Delaware. Just wondering where it all went wrong. I also wonder where it all went wrong. Like, sometimes you just have the Great Henge and you just draw nothing. Anyway, Gruul. What comes in against Gruul? Presumably I'm supposed to be doing this. This card I'm like kind of suspicious of. Feels like we're doing all this work to board in like a 1-for-1. A 1-for-1 that still gets run over by Cleave, but maybe it's fine. I guess I like Wilt for ECD and for Cleave. ECD itself, I think Vivian's too slow. I mean, obviously a cool grindy card in this matchup, but I feel like if we're on the draw, then having a 5-mana 3/3 is not very good. Primal Might seems fine, not exciting. I think Fairy Guide Mother again. This is not a Fairy Guide Mother matchup. So I want more oozes. There's oozes, there's ECD I could bring in. Okay, my adversary does certainly die to Scorching Dragonfire. Do I want Primal Might more than like ECD plus 3rd ooze? I'll try this build. I'll try it. Mostly Primal Might cutting off their Innkeeper seems really good. Like giving us like a way to kill something on turn 2. And yeah, adversary trading up being decent on defense means it probably qualifies. I'm just like unexcited by it all the time. This hand's pretty good though. No way to kill an Innkeeper, but that's why we board in the Primal Mites. And this Innkeeper has nothing to draw cards with, so we're just going to keep it there. Definitely going to keep my 4th land. If I'm going to play Scavenging Ooze, that would be ideal. They play Scavenging Ooze, I can get down an adversary. This creature is unfortunately white, so we're not going to be able to do much with that. If I play my Ooze now, it could just die to Stomp, but we haven't seen red mana from them. Could also just go call Innkeeper. Innkeeper might even be reasonable bait for like a Primal Might, because I have nothing to play off of it right now. Huh. I think I go with Innkeeper here. There's always a chance that they, like, think this is better than it is, and they spend their turn, like, casting Primal or Ram through to kill it and not casting a Lovestruck Beast. And that would be nice. Also, like, not having to bolt land this thing in. Alright, sick, chat, we baited him. Perfect, perfect. And the Skyclave Apparition is a really good draw. Eating Lovestruck Beast seems great. You're of course going to munch up this Edgewell Innkeeper now, just to get us out of stomp range. And make sure we don't have to play any weird timing games against an opposing Scavenging Ooze. Temple of Plenty, alright, that actually curves pretty well for us. We're just going to eat this beast now before they can cast, say, a Great Henge with it. So obviously our Oakham Adversary is more expensive, but cutting off the Great Henge is much more important. I think I'll keep that. Shadow Cloak, hard to say, hard to say. I mean, for them, like, the thing they're afraid of is that I go, like, I don't know, multiple card draws off of that. And they probably think I have enough ways to, like, kill a 1/1 or something that it's not that exciting to just jam the 5/5 right away. But I don't know. Things are always easier when you're playing from, you know, the point of view of knowing everything that goes on. Okay, I think we just go Questing Beast here. So the thing I'm afraid of now is Embercleave. If they have, like, a second red source and they can put an Embercleave on the Lovestruck Beast, it's going to kill me really fast. There's not much I can do about that, though. So I think what I want to do is instead just put my opponent under some offensive pressure. If I play Lovestruck Beast, I'm making Henge a bit cheaper for next turn, but with Questing Beast in play, I think we're okay from that standpoint. So we'll start here, we'll attack with it. If they choose to trade Lovestruck Beast, we will, I think, eat with Scavenging Ooze so I can get the Henge down. They choose not to. Alright, do I make a token or not? Guess I will make a token here. And yeah, I mean, Napoleon, one thing we could have would be like Glass Casket, right? Like that's a pretty normal card for a green-white deck to board in against aggro. Okay, opponent's on the Innkeeper game, and they're, wow, just smashing this Bone Crusher Giant button, not even trying to kill Skyclave first. That is interesting. I'll take that trade. Alright, Wilt is really nice. I love having an answer to Embercleave. And, I mean, they could answer Great Henge, but I definitely just jam it now. Casket could get the Beast Napoleon, but like if I get the token, then shattering the casket doesn't get them back anything good. I don't know. It's hard to tell what was right from their point of view. Do I attack with Questerson now? I think no. The Crow and War. All right, that is another very good target for Wilt. Boy, this is great. Maybe I want two of these. Honestly, just cheap removal for expensive stuff like Henge and a Crow and War and Embercleave is really nice. And now I think we should be in a pretty dominant spot. Just this turn alone, I get to go Lovestruck Beast into... So I think I'm gonna go ahead. I could Skyclave Apparition the War as well, and then just save the Wilt for an Embercleave or a Great Henge. That might be better. Yeah, I'm gonna do that because Wilt can't. Skyclave Apparition can't take out the Great Henge, and I feel like Wilt deals with basically every card I would be scared of from this point on. Now I'll attack with Questing Beast because it gets something out of the way that Oakham Adversary could be blocked by. And this just puts two more creatures in the graveyard for Scavenging Ooze. I'm just going to hold up Wilt here. Okay, Vivian Monster's Advocate. So Primal Might's going to hopefully help me get through to her. Definitely a tricky creature, but I think I should be far enough ahead on board to be fine. Like We have multiple creatures that are bigger than their whole deal. We also get a Primal Might there, Lovestruck Beast. Start with Kazandu. Okay, and so I would like to attack Vivian with as many 4-power creatures as possible to force more blocks. I guess actually if I Apparition, if I have the 2/2 Apparition fight the Beast with Primal Might, what happens? I'm attacking Vivian with these 6 creatures. Opponent's got 4 blockers, and actually, yeah, that actually works perfectly. So I'm gonna pump the Apparition because that allows me to kill Vivian for sure, because the smallest creatures they can let through are this and this. Not sure this play is optimal, but it works for my current purpose, which is getting rid of the Vivian, and once I do that, I think I'm in good shape. So we are just gonna do that. Actually, wait, no, the problem here is... Right, we'll just do this. I have to stop holding up Wilt to do this, but I'll go with here. Basically, this means they can't block the Apparition with a 1/1 to kill it. They shouldn't really be blocking anything. They can't save Vivian here. At some point, they'll probably recognize that. Another interesting game. And yeah, I'm not worried about Cleave anymore. At this point, I'm pretty sure I'm prohibitively ahead and can't really lose the game. I'm just trying to take this Vivian off the board because it's the one unknown factor. And yeah, if they're trying to get something out of this turn, probably they should double block the Apparition and block the 1/1 token. They might need to keep Innkeeper alive though to feel like they have a chance. So like Ember's Shieldbreaker is the best card they could have here. Kill the Cleave, get a card off it maybe. And yes, grinding people out even when we're playing the aggro deck. That's what it's all about. Yeah, so if they kill Henge, I'm not that far ahead, but I am pretty far ahead, and they're at not the safest life total over there. And Brushfire Elemental, for all its prowess when attacking, is a very bad blocker. Playing Kazandu Valiant doesn't make any sense. That... Surely you want the creature, right? Okay, alright, they're just getting a big chunk in. A Roar of Defiance before they die. Okay. Yep. That is plenty of damage. Nice, alright, 2-0 so far on the evening. Still enjoying the way this deck plays out. And we're back to the numbers, chat. Finally back to the numbers. Also, Anaphylactic 6-month resubscriber. You're back. Thanks for being back. Real pleasure to have you. Okay, so we took out Blue-White. We took out Gruul.
That's the goal.
Ideally, we now get to face Rogues. Shohei, is this a pro, or is it just a person named... So Shuhei is a pro. I assume that Shohei is not actually a pro, and I'm just thinking of Shuhei. This is a Skyclave Apparition in ECD with a Temple of Plenty to scry. 5 lands. Yeah, the deck is this like weird mid-range concoction where I don't know how to think about hands like this. Because if I just draw like some, I don't know, freaking Fairy Guide Mother, I'm so sad. But this can like cast all my spells forever. I think I keep it. Maybe that like 5 lands is actually way too bad for an Adventures deck. Definitely keeping a Keeper. It's like, as long as I can find an Innkeeper or a Vivian. Black-green Adventures, black-green Lotus Cobra. All right, well, your guess is as good as mine, chat.
We need to become Aaron Gertler tonight, chat. That's the goal.
Jund. Okay, is this Jund food? Ooh, it's Jund food. All right. So they're going to be doing like Wicked Wolf, Corvold, Trail of Crumbs stuff. And Elspeth Conqueror's Death is going to be pretty strong against them. Napoleon, the sub-icon to be banned. I mean, this is how we remember it, right? It's an infinite memorial. Every subscriber to the stream is just helping the Clover, you know, live on in all of our hearts. Jalbrecht and XX Wonerick, thank you for the follows. That is an Edgewell Innkeeper. I like that. I like that. So the question is, do I swing with Apparition? I don't. I guess I'm just going to Innkeeper Beast here. So glad that Mayhem Devil doesn't exist anymore, chat. So glad that Mayhem Devil doesn't exist anymore. Like, imagine just casting an Edgewell Innkeeper and being like, yep, this is card advantage. You have to use a card to kill this. Like, they could have claimed the Firstborn, but it's still a 1-for-1. And I'm actually attacking with Apparition now, whatever. I should have done this before combat, of course, given that I was going to do it anyway, but like, with ECD getting something back, I'm happy to trade this for Woestrider. I don't mind if my opponent has a 2-2. Getting rid of Woestrider helps me with things like opponent not being able to draw a bunch of cards off a future Corvold, for example. Wouldn't be surprised if their next turn was a Wicked Wolf kill Innkeeper, but then I just get to ECD the Wolf, get Innkeeper back eventually. Here it comes, here it comes. All right, that's fine. One good 2-for-1 deserves another. We've still got a giant killer to handle Corvold. And that's an Amiria's Call, which I bet will come in handy later. This card in particular just makes this deck so much more powerful. It's like so quiet the way it does it, but like, this card's been winning games. Or at least keeping us alive in games that we had no business being in. Oven. Not super impressed. So they could claim the Beast here. If they have claimed the Firstborn, they could take out Lovestruck Beast. Oven also makes Corvold stronger. Don't really know how I would expect this matchup to go. Looks like we get quite a few good tools after sideboard. But Wicked Wolf's tough. Wicked Wolf's tough. Yep, can't be a cat, chat. Can't be a cat. Praise the Lord, it can't be a cat. Alright, well, opponent might just get disconnected or something. I honestly don't know. I think cat would be very powerful. I think rogues would probably go back to being unplayable if Cauldron Familiar were in standard, for example. Or at least it would go back to being like kind of a tier 2 fringe strategy. Like, there's not a lot of great ways. You have Scavenging Ooze and Cling to Dust. And yeah, it's just like, does it make Magic better to have cat back in the format? And I don't think it does. Max MTG, I I've been enjoying the smooth 2-color mana myself. I mean, it's pretty low cost to go 3 colors, and maybe Bone Crusher's worth it, but I haven't like felt the lack of it or anything. Okay, so we're doing this, and I actually think we're just going to hold back the Lovestruck here. It's like pretty easy for them to kill the 1/1 such that playing this doesn't give me much offensive bonus, and at the moment I am planning to get Edgewell Innkeeper back off of VCD. Yep, Naya has functional mana. I'm just not sure we need to do that. Like, I think we end up, what, giving up Skycleave Apparition for Bone Crusher? I don't know how I feel about that trade. Alright, so definitely get an Innkeeper back, and we're just going to start drawing cards off of it. We could also just play Amiria's Call. Darn it, I'm probably supposed to play Amiria's Call. Alright, new plan. If they turn out to have like Bone Crusher or something, I'm gonna be sad, but having the Angels is great. If the opponent casts Corvold next turn, I've got a Giant Killer ready for it. And putting Fatal Bastard in the deck does give up something. I'm just like, I don't know what compelling sideboard cards we get. We get maybe like Klothys against Rogues. Maybe Ox of Agonis against Rogues or Control or something. But could be something worth trying. If I stick to playing this deck a lot, I might do something like that in a future stream. Okay, opponent has the Bloodchief's Thirst. Has to go after an Angel, though. What is their... okay, they get the Innkeeper back. That's not bad. Possible that I actually should have just been going for Apparition there. They do have, you know, a good number of ways to kill Innkeeper. And getting rid of the Oven could have been nice. Double Oven really doesn't help them at all, though, without Cats. We got some Spiders, Napoleon. Just some Spiders in the sideboard. Some Spiders and like a bunch of cards that are like aggressive and good against Rogues. Okay, so opponent can get back Strider if they sack their Cobra here. At this point, I'll just jam the Lovestruck, and I'll hold the Pathway in hand. There's some chance they play something like Rankle. And I don't really need the 8th land right now. We're definitely not by any means guaranteed to win this game. If the opponent can take out this 1/1, my whole plan gets halted, but it... They have another claim. Cobra gives them access to 4 mana, so they can't get Strider back yet. Okay, claim the 1/1, yep. Yep. So need another Innkeeper, another Lovestruck, or a Fairy Guidemother. We finally hit the situation where we really want a Fairy Guidemother. Cool, cool. Or that also works just fine. Why not? God, this card is good, chat. Imagine just drawing a land and winning the game instantly. I'm just so sick. I mean, and now it's sort of the point where they're out is something like Corvold. Like, this is not bad, but because we have the Giant Killer, it's not enough. You get a bunch of cards off of it. If they hit like another Claim and another Bloodchief's Thirst, maybe? But I suspect that like the vast majority of their draws just lose to Angels here anyway. They are fighting it out. They are fighting it out. Oh, alright. Alright. They played their land already. Shepherd of the Flock. Well, if we had to play an Amiria's Call as a land before, we could get it back to our hand now, but that's fine. Alright, so chop you, that should win the game. They have 2 mana up, so if they have like a Heartless Act, they could kill an Angel with that. Oh no, okay, they've got the just enough to stay alive. And they just decided they're not going to be able to beat the Angels next turn. Sure. Okay. So, Garrick's Harbinger doesn't really resist that much of the removal and just dies to claim. Wilt seems pretty good. Helad's Intervention seems pretty good. ECD seems pretty good. Oozes seem pretty good.
We need to become Aaron Gertler tonight, chat. That's the goal.
Honestly, once again, feels like we're just going down Guide Mothers. These just don't seem that good. They die to everything. Opponent's deck's pretty good at stalling us. Just don't particularly think we need these. Giant Killer doesn't have that many targets. We could even cut one of these, maybe. Hits Corvold, which is great. Hits like an ooze at a wolf after it eats a food. Cut a Questing Beast, maybe? Kind of is really bad against Wicked Wolf. Yeah, maybe we're like cutting some Questing Beasts and adding like a Primal Might. Just have a little bit of extra removal for Wolf, Corvold, Goose stuff. Fourth Ooze also, maybe. How good is Ooze against them? Feels like one of the easy ways to just die is for our opponent to Corvold us, so we'll go for this. Perhaps, Tammy, perhaps. What happens if I drag this over a little bit? There we go, nice and centered. Anyway, Amiria's Call. Broken. Broken. Keep. Once again, kind of a sketchy 5-laner Temple of Plenty hand. We get punished by drawing a land. Primo Victor. I don't know what you mean by counter spells snowballing a game versus me. This deck's pretty fast and aggressive and is not that vulnerable to counter spells. Adel3, DX Your C, thanks for the follow. This hand's actually really bad. I shouldn't have kept this. I shouldn't have kept this hand at all. It was very greedy to do that. Anyway, we are absolutely not feeding Scavenging Ooze to Wicked Wolf. Not today.
We need
hey, Legacy R, thanks for the raid.
That's the goal.
Daniel Does Gaming, thanks for the follow. Are you related to the other TTV channel, the Spanish language one, After Office TTV? Well, Primo Victor, you probably want to play cheaper spells or instant speed spells. Those are two ways to navigate around counters. Classically speaking. Alright, so now we'll just jam Ooze. Opponent tries to wolf it. We've got Shepherd of the Flock to rescue it. Zuzanunu. And yeah, I know it's not you, Daniel. I wasn't sure if it was like a team or something like that. Alright, so if the opponent jams a Corvold now, we kind of just lose. This hand was a bad keep. I should not have kept this. No Giant Killers, no ECDs, no Skyclave Apparitions means I'm just trying to win with random derpy creatures and hoping that 2 4/4 flyers on turn 7 win. But in fact, 2 4/4 flyers on turn 7 does not actually win unless you did other stuff too. Alright, yeah, and the Trails of Crumbs are just going to absolutely murder us unless our next draw is Heliod's Intervention. Yep, could really use that Heliod's Intervention right now, please. Right now, please. Right now, please. Yeah, I'm going to give up here. Realistically, we're not really beating Wolf drawing 4 cards next turn off of these foods. And that was sad. Did we learn anything from that? I guess Oakham Adversary is reasonable against the Gilded Goose Lotus Cobra deck, so maybe I try some of those. And frankly, I'm pretty happy at 2 Ooze. And then maybe just go down the Primal Might again, honestly. I like Vivian. All right, we're trying a new thing. We're trying the Death Touchy Boys here. Okay, yeah. Little bit risky in the sense that we're kind of short on lands, but if the opponent goes turn 1 Gilded Goose and we get to cast Okame Adversary, we're in incredibly good shape. This is not a card they can kill efficiently with removal we've seen from their deck. If we draw a 3rd land and then a 4th land and we can cast a Great Henge, we're in very good shape as well. There are ways this hand goes wrong, but I like where we've started out at. Edgewall Innkeeper, also not bad. Am I casting that? Yes. Yes, I am. I draw that 3rd land and can cast Lovestruck Beast. I want to immediately be drawing a 4th land. This could get killed by a Bloodchief Thirst or something, but it's fine. Lotus Cobra gives me Okame Adversary. Ooh, land. Alright. Never mind. Priority is casting Lovestruck Beast now. Smorka to Smork. Wouldn't be surprised to see Wicked Wolf come down next turn, but I'm still smashing with Lovestruck. Okay, not Wicked Wolf. Maybe Claim plus Woestrider? Which age-old play pattern will we be enjoying today? Okay. Sure. Alright, Lovestruck down means no Great Henge for me no matter what next turn, but we got plenty of other good stuff where that came from. Having ECD available for a Fakehurst King is also great. More Shepherds. So... I'm just doing this. Okay, Skyclave's pretty helpful. Can take out a variety of things, like a Wicked Wolf. We'll need lands eventually, but we're not under any real pressure. Unless they go, like, land Corvold, at which point we suddenly are under a lot of pressure. No! Alright, pressure has been achieved. Can I get a land, please? A 4th land. Just one delicious 4th land, please. Okay, so we're apparitioning this Woestrider. Woestrider gives them the ability to sack lots of stuff, which I don't like. They can sack Cobra now to let Corvold be big enough to block Lovestruck Beast. I do think we're probably about to die to not drawing a 4th land. Corvold being in play is bad news. I still like this keep, and I think we played fine, but wow, Fabled Passage plus Corvold is devastating as ever, chat. Devastating as ever. This matchup's probably fine. I think I kept a very bad hand in game 2, and then this hand just didn't pan out. Even if we just been able to Skyclave Apparition the Lotus Cobra, we'd also been in pretty reasonable shape. Shinda, what do you mean playing Shepherd to draw? We have a Lovestruck Beast. We played Lovestruck Beast to draw. Or oh, you mean for the Skyclave Apparition turn? No, I think we had to take out the Woestrider. I think Corvold plus Woestrider turning all of their creatures into more cards and more damage is a little bit too much. But yeah, if we Shepherd, we have a better chance of hitting the 4th land, but we're not doing anything with the land that turn. And yes, I don't mind Cat being banned at all. Alright, so we could still hit Giant Killer. Giant Killer could still maybe bail us out. Alright. Okay, so we're very likely to lose to Corvold, but we're going to try to not do that. Okame Adversary didn't look bad in this game. I think this actually should be a card we board in. We've got ECD available. Opponent probably has many good ways to kill us. Evolving Wilds, yep. The mana in this deck looks horrible, but if you've got the Lotus Cobra sticking around and surviving, then it's suddenly very good. So we died a Woestrider. We are dead to a Woestrider. Gilded Goose doesn't do it quite by itself. Trail of Crumbs. Okay, still holding on. Still holding on, we're not dead. Opponent gets to sack, like, They can sack 2 foods to the Wicked Wolf. Does that kill me? I guess that actually kills me. They can sack a food to Wicked Wolf, then they can sack... Does this kill me? I honestly have no idea. I'm gonna let my opponent figure that out. Alright, opponent was not sure. And I guess we're surviving? I don't think we should have survived. But we take those. We definitely take those. Gotta mark the Corvold. Unfortunately, Trail of Crumbs is still really strong. I am going to play Shepherd of the Flock right now. We just need to be drawing cards. It's likely that put us too far behind to win. Another Corvold coming down would be just devastating. But we do have another ECD. We're not strictly dead. Wicked Wolf can basically, every food they have is now just 1 mana, you know, do a Trail of Crumbs activation. They've got a bunch of Claim the Firstborn type cards in their deck that could like steal my whole board, beat my head in with it. But if they're going to combat and their only move is to attack with Wicked Wolf, I'm pretty happy. Please no trample, thank you.
We need to become Aaron Gertler tonight, chat. That's the goal.
More of those. Alright, we didn't really need the Innkeeper that much. We have a lot of tools that can kill wolves. Opponent finds another Cobra. That's one of the safer permanents to see there. Do they have a failed passage now, though? Yeah. Alright. Alright, it's fine. It's fine, chat. We're gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Our opponent, I think, should have hit us much harder with the Corvold than they did. I think if we were at 2 life right now or whatever, we'd be in a much harder position. They just sacked that to gain 3 life? They did. Liliana is tough, but alright, we actually I think we might be okay. So we want this white source. I'm gonna take out the trail for sure here. I could bounce back the ECD and cast it again, but I don't want to do that. I think I just want to go ECD plus Apparition this turn. So Apparition eats the trail. ECD eats a wolf. So if I do that, the opponent's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 creatures that can attack me. So even something like Claim plus Liliana doesn't necessarily win. No, that does win. So if they get rid of 2 blockers, I lose. So another thing I could do is just cast Innkeeper. Thing is, they have not a lot of mana right now, so they'd have to have a land with the Cobras and then go like Liliana plus. Tough. If I only had 1 more white source, then I could Innkeeper, I could bring back Apparition, could recast Apparition. I'm just gonna go ECD. Gonna go ECD and just give it my best shot of not dying. But I think our opponent might have crawled a little too far ahead here. We'll see. So something like land, Liliana Bloodchief's Thirst gets me. If we can... Yep, that's a lot of mana. Opponent has gotten... Okay, so the... That's the 4th Evolving Wilds of the game, chat. Opponent's just on the full 4 copies of Evolving Wilds. This deck's mana makes it, I think, pretty unplayable, but when it works and fires on all the cylinders and stuff, it's pretty neat. Opponent just insta-pluses Liliana. You, I think actually discarding a Miria's Call. I don't want to take damage off of this land. And I feel like with Great Henge and Innkeeper, I'll have plenty of stuff to do for a long time. Oh, I also could have discarded Innkeeper to bring it back, but I want to get back Skyclave Apparition. I already have an Innkeeper anyway. Opponent's just not attacking. Alright, I feel like the opponent... it's not a Kroxa discard, no. That is an effect unique to Mr. Kroxa. Alright, I'm getting back. We have 2 Innkeepers in hand. I'm definitely just Skyclaving the Liliana. I guess, do I care about Liliana? Maybe I just Skyclave the Wolf? Skyclave the... If I Skyclave the Wolf, I could actually attack Liliana now? Let's Skyclave the Wolf. I might want to attack Liliana this turn. Put some pressure on it. Yeah, at this point though, I'm about to cast a bunch of creatures. And I have 2 more life off the henge, so I'm not worried about suddenly dying now. Famous last words. Let the Innkeeper party begin, chat. And yeah, we could have bounced the ECD there, but I just have so much mana available there and so much that Shepherd the Flock can do, that I just wasn't sure that was what I wanted to angle for. Okay, so if I swing at Lily with everybody, that I can't swing with Lovestruck Beast. I can make a token and then do that. Which I think I'm interested in doing. Yeah, we can Skyclave again at some point. But I think I would rather... I think I want to get my opponent to chump with some of their stuff to save Lily and then kill it. That seems more satisfying. Like, I would be pretty happy to trade any of these things for any of their things at the moment, because I got plenty of blockers. I just want to reduce my opponent's board as much as possible to make sure that like Corvold is as weak as it could be. Redneck Queen and Gmod, thank you both for following. Sorry I missed you there for a few minutes. Okay, so opponent's just throwing away lots of stuff. You love to see it. And then we're just going to be able to take out their Liliana at our leisure. Alright, opponent just gave up everything to save the Liliana, which is not doing that much for them, but I can appreciate the effort. So now we have to think, what could we lose to? Something like Corvold is very dangerous. Trail of Crumbs isn't really dangerous because it costs enough mana to sack the foods that that's not really a concern. So we pretty much just want to make sure we have an answer to Corvold ready at all times. And what that means is that my play this turn might look a bit weird. I'm just going to cast Vivian, I think, or maybe it's Lovestruck Beast. Yeah, I'm just going to cast Lovestruck Beast. Liliana is not really a threat at this point. We have plenty of life, plenty of cards. I want to keep Shepherd of the Flock around, so if they play a Corvold this turn, I can bounce ECD back to my hand. Okay. Yeah, we just played a land. We are good to go on lands. Alright, Trail of Crumbs is solid, but not that impactful here. It just costs too much mana to hunt through the library compared to how efficient the Great Henge is. And Slice said I'm on the spectrum somewhere. I've slowly socialized myself through great effort over the years. No BM taken. Liliana's great. Liliana's great. It's just, it's bad, but it's, you know, great. Well, welcome to the stream, Slicehead. I'd like to think that if someone is on the spectrum, then this can be a welcoming place for them. I certainly know what it is. Have a sense of what it's like to find myself in weird situations. I'd like to think I'm also an articulate Yale grad, man of many identities. Yeah. Alright, so getting back apparition a bit more efficient there. Also falters if they have instant speed removal, which I guess they couldn't because of ECD, but didn't really matter. We dealt with the core volt, and then they... I feel like they should have been attacking much more aggressively on some of those turns, but what do I know? And yeah, Panky, man, I certainly was lucky in that I had really favorable circumstances under which to get lots of practice and some very tolerant friends. And we're going right back in, undefeated so far. We played some real grinders, though. It's like we're like almost 2 hours in, and that's the third match we played, up to the fourth match now. Still, the deck's powerful. The deck is doing a good job of defending against all comers. Maybe now we finally get rogues. The Jerry Stone and Bulo, thank you both for following. By the way, folks, I might as well give another announcement here. Don't forget to take the survey that I'm sending out. This is basically, I feel like I'm now experienced enough as a streamer to be ready to do some weird kind of gimmick streams. Whether it's a singing stream where all I do is sing and you're listening to me sing as I play through my games, or a really deep voice stream where everything I say is just an octave lower than usual, chat. Or various other gimmicks. You get to look at that survey and figure out what it is you want to see. Cosplay stream, you know, suggest it. There's a box there where you can suggest stuff that I didn't think of, and cosplay stream is certainly in the category things I didn't think of. Am I keeping this? This is 2 lands, 2 5-drops. No real value stuff going on. Just like a 1/2 and a 3/1. I'm gonna mull this. This is better. And we're gonna ditch ECD here, I think. Zeus to great, thanks for the follow. Okay. Alright, am I keeping this? Yeah, I guess so. This lets me cast Kazandu as a creature. No. Well, that was predictable. We've been robbed. We've been robbed. Okay, so am I doing this as a tap land or this as a tap land? I'm doing this as a tap land because I don't have the option to make it not a tap land. So Robber's pretty annoying. Our deck has a lot of really good hits off of Robber. Fortunately, our opponent is not going to be looking at those right now. Okay, they scored a Love-Struck Beast, which I think means we've got to use Apparition to just chomp the Robber now. Really don't feel like having Love-Struck Beast coming out for free next turn on us. Already at 14. I did beat Monored with this deck off stream earlier, and it felt like a pretty good matchup. But our hand was a little slow and awkward. No denying that. Okay, well, turn 4 Akum Hellhound is definitely the kind of thing that helps us pull back in, maybe. More Kazandus. Alright, so move here is going to be... I think we have to eat Anax. And we're just going to tap Demiria's Call so that next turn I can bring back an Apparition and eat the Phoenix. And we're going to hold both of these Apparitions up if they have a land drop. Well, if they have land drop and Embercleave, we're dead, I think. But it would be nice to have the option to get rid of the Hellhound. Take 3 off of that. What are we spending 5 mana on right now? Or maybe they're just trying to bluff me. Okay, so if they have a cleave, we get it a 4. They can also use Castle Embrith or a Phoenix activation. Phoenix activation puts me to 6. If I double block the Hellhound and they can pump it in some fashion, I just straight die because they get way too much stuff going. So I actually can't... I don't think I can afford double block. If their hand is nothing, then I love double blocking, but I suspect their hand's better than nothing. We're just gonna hold back here. Banky, I don't know, Rogue seems pretty good to me. I think Rogues is really flexible. You have a lot of ways you can build that deck. And I think there's probably some way of building it that is going to be reasonable in almost any meta that the standard could put together. Econometric, I'll keep your concerns in mind. And yeah, I think if I were going to do that, I would totally, like, ask permission, maybe ask if there's anything that, like, such and such a streamer considers essential to their wardrobe or whatever. Okay, so gonna swing in here. Really hoping the opponent's trying to do a stomp and they're gonna try and ambush me with the stomp. Oh wait, no, that would be bad. If they have stomp, I'm in a lot of trouble. Okay. So we're now going to buy back Apparition with Shepherd. Basically, we're dead to any removal spell here, but there's not much I can do about that. Oh, we actually drew this one, so I guess we're okay. I guess we're... Oh no, we don't have enough white mana to pull this off, unfortunately. So we're dying to Phoenix. Alright. Yeah, this is ugly. Scorching Dragonfire is such a weird main deck card, but I guess it's for rogues and Gruul and stuff. Yep, no real getting around this. I don't really want to shepherd it back because then we just can't do anything else of note this turn. So they get that, and now I think I just go Innkeeper Mammoth, and if they have a land, we die to Phoenix, but we just have to hope they don't have a land. Yep, that's about the size of it. We're dead to, like, pretty much everything except, like, 2 Akuma Hellhounds in hand. Alright, we're dead to Phoenix. Well done, well done. Jerry Stone, I don't know what Grixis deck would be relevant. I haven't seen anyone play Grixis against me on ladder in a long time. It's just doesn't have much going for it as a color combination. It's the mana's awkward. The blue-black rogue strategies and blue-black control strategies don't seem like they benefit much from adding red. Alright, so Intervention comes in, ECD comes in, Wilt comes in, Oozes come in, Fury Guide Mothers are crap blockers and come out, Story of Our Lives, Vivian comes out. I believe that's all. Primal Might versus Questing Beast. I think I'm good with this. Yeah, given they have the Dragonfire, I don't think we had any way around that, unfortunately. And yeah, Jerry Stone, sometimes the deck doesn't have any problems. Sometimes just like there's no compelling reason to do this. And there are enough good non-basic lands in Standard that having to play 3 colors means you lose out on a lot of good cards like Crawling Barrens or Easy Castle Lochthwains. And yeah, if anyone's having fun with the list, make sure to credit goes to NumottheNummy. This is Numot's MPL list. All right, great looking hand. Yeah, I think if you're trying to play a 3-color deck and there's like not a Triome that fits it, and it's not Naya with 3 pathways, you might want to re-examine some of the decisions that you've made to get to where you got. Alright, so am I jamming Ooze knowing that Bone Crusher Giant just eats it for free? Pretty sure the answer is just yes. I think with Skyclave Apparition in hand, we don't really have the luxury of playing around Bone Crusher Giant. If they have it, it's going to get us. So we're going to hope they don't have it. If they do have it, well, our Ooze can eat our Ooze and we'll be okay. Hopefully. Yep. Alright, that lands a good draw. That means I have the freedom now to go Branch Loft into Skoos, into eat my other Skoos. Get this thing out of stomp range. Slowly making our way toward ECD. It's like a little awkward maybe that we're not giving ECD a good target, but I think we're going to end up with something in the graveyard at some point. We're going to chop this thing rather than apparitioning it because apparition hits Torbran and chop down does not. Apparition also hits Phoenix. And I don't really see the need to get the token down now. We're just going to eat this Bone Crusher and get our clock on. Is Karen Croxa? You know, I'm not the kind of person who would like say Karen, really. I just prefer annoying person because I think annoying people come in all shapes, sizes, and genders, but if we want to call Croxa Karen, that seems like a pretty reasonable response to all that Croxa does. And alright, double Lovestruck Beast probably closes things out. This card just hosing mono-red as it has been ever since late 2019. I'm trying to figure out if it's worth it to go for the cleave here, but if not now, when? If not now, when? And so if I don't jam a block, cleave takes me to 5? That seems too low. I don't want to go to 5. Got a Scavenging Ooze, I've got a Skyclave Apparition, I've got plenty of ability to grind out the opponent from here. It's possible I'm supposed to block Hellhound here so that Scorching Dragonfire is still like a 2-for-1 in my favor, but getting a champion off the board is also pretty nice. The fewer things they can equip Ember Cleave to for free later on, the better. Glad they didn't have a Rimrock Knight too. Giant Killer. Now what? Now what? So I can Apparition the champion and just eat something with Ooze, hit our opponent to 6.
We need to become Aaron Girdler tonight, chat.
Seems kind of reasonable. Could also just play a Lovestruck Beast out. No, I think I just want to Apparition the champion. Basically, tie up the opponent's mana as much as possible here. If they have like a Torbran, I want them to have to do Torbran or Cleave and not be able to do both. Yeah, Watch Wolves. United Ebon Legion would be a great card to be in Standard now. Would love to see that. Falcorn11, thanks for the follow. And now Scavenging Ooze is just forcing our opponent to lose stuff every single turn. Just very good news for us. Tuna, I encourage you to read Skyclave Apparition, and then that will hopefully help you figure out why we did not Apparition the Embercleave. Oh, H-Dilla is sad. I want to send H-Dilla my love. Sorry about the love-struck beasts, buddy. Yeah, if Apparition could Emmer Cleave, this format would look different. And yeah, it's not so much that I'm like, I don't have the time to explain the card or something, but it's more like, I think I want to encourage a habit on the stream that if like if a weird play happens and like a card is involved that's like a new card that does something fancy, that like looking over the card might help you figure out, oh wait, this doesn't do quite what I think it does. Because like, I get this all the time, right? Like, why not ECD the Scavenging Ooze? Why not, I don't know, any other number of like, why not do this thing that isn't quite legal by the rules? And then my generically being able to just answer like, you know, there's a reason, and the reason is reading the card. Reading the card explains the card is like a general thing to have as advice. All right, so we're just gonna shoot the Anax here. Yeah, get out of here. Crunch. And so I guess there's not really a good reason to sack with the Love-Struck Beast. It puts them to 1, but being at 1 versus 6 is not that different for them here. Now this is a spicy block. All right, that's kind of what I thought. And I guess I'm just playing this as land. I would like to be able to cast ECD. Yes, Tuna. It is easy to forget that Emmer Cleave doesn't cost 3. It feels a lot like it costs 3. But that's another point about like about just being like card reading being the name of the game. Is that sometimes it's like, well, I could tell you like, well, Apparition only hits 4 CC or below, but then it's like, oh, well, maybe you thought Emmer Cleave was cheaper. And it's like, again, it's just hard to tell what thoughts are leading people in a certain direction. A stomp. And is there more? There was not more. Like, this felt great. We still have to win game 3. The Jerry Stone, any deck or color combination that could be better than what we know at the moment? I don't know. A lot of the things that I've been like, this should work in theory have not been working very well. I think if Yorion continues to get kind of driven out of the format by rogues, then there are a lot of decks that Yorion is holding back that I'd be pretty interested in. For example, I've really wanted to make Ironcrag Pyromancer work in like a blue-red draw deck. I think that card's really powerful against a metagame full of aggressive creatures. But I tried playing that deck against Yorion and it just didn't work at all. I wasn't able to apply enough pressure to their actual life total and just got destroyed. All right, on the draw versus the play, I think we basically keep what we've got here. Do I want to do a Primal Might? Maybe I cut an ECD for a Primal Might here. Get one more cheaper piece of interaction in. Yeah, Simic Yorion is another thing I've thought about. I think missing out on Apparition is really painful, and the mana is not great. I put it together and was just like, how does this deck ever beat aggro? Something I had not realized when I was trying to put that deck together, though, was that Mystic Subdual has Flash. I'd just not even realized that it had Flash. So, like, Mystic Subdual is better removal than I had thought at first, and maybe I should revisit Blue-Green Food at some point. I'm also really interested in, like, blue-black, like blue-black Yorion. The idea being that like Atris is a really good thing to bounce with Yorion, and you get Elspeth's Nightmare plus all the blue cards, and you don't have mana that's as awkward as the Esper mana. Alright, so this hand is gonna struggle a lot against like double Fervent Champion, but it's very good at dealing with their bigger things. And Temple of Plenty helps us a little bit as far as getting set up goes. Yeah, Garoff, I have been hating the Godmother a lot. I think that card might just not be playable. Innkeeper has been fine with 12 targets, especially with Shepherd of the Flock and such to recycle things. Alright, so we're just sampling here, right? Yeah, definitely just templing here. Another Shepherd. So what am I doing on turn 2? Probably gonna be Emiria's Call tapped into Innkeeper. Shepherd seems like approximately good enough. It blocks well. I can also just play a Shepherd on turn 2 and just block the Hellhound or whatever. I guess one thing about Shepherd is a good thing for Robert hit off my deck, so that's like a little bit nerve-wracking. Alright, well this smells to me like a Bone Crusher Giant if ever I've seen one, so we're just gonna play this out tapped and we'll wait to Apparition their 3-drop. Yeah, Watch Wolvesy, I mean you have to remember Watch Wolvesy that like all the other decks are worse too, right? Like, the format is dramatically less powerful than it had been before. Alright, if the opponent's planning to attack me for 2 a turn with a Akoum Hellhound, I can handle that. And now we do the Plains, that's really good, because it means I can just cast this Mammoth and still have triple white up to do Apparition plus Shepherd. Mammoth beats Dog in a fight. Maybe it gets Scorching Dragon fired, but that would be okay. I have no idea what our opponent's hand was that they kept there. Like, Akoum Hellhound lands Torbran? Maybe like a shock or something? Okay, show me what you got. Is it Stomp? Is it Rimrock Knight? Okay, it was Stomp all along. Opponent definitely should have stomped me and cast that Bone Crusher Giant. That definitely was the play. Now that the board is empty on this turn 4 and we just get to like slam Skoos, we should be in pretty good shape. Good news is that even if my opponent tries to stomp this, we can just get it back with Shepherd. Swish. Cursed Scroll was $80. Yikes. That is a lot of dinero. Alright, so I'm pretty sure we just Apparition the Bone Crusher and Smash. Like, I actually want to go for here. We'll go for play a white source out, Apparition the Bone Crusher. Smash with Ooze, then we can just play out Innkeeper and have a Shepherd up. Or any nonsense our opponent might try to get up to. Unedited, thanks for the follow. It looks maybe like they're flooding a little bit. 6 lands so far. Hardcast Embercleave, definitely possible. The one Heliod's Intervention's been very good at the sideboard. Part of me wants to have 2 of them, but I feel like Heliod's Intervention is just sort of destined to be the kind of card you have 1 of, and then when you draw it, you're very happy about it, but you don't rely on it. I mean, it just wouldn't make you discard, Patrick. That would be Mastercore today. You just wouldn't have to discard. Alright, so what am I saving? I'll save Innkeeper. Just buries them in the ground much deeper. Actually pretty close there between playing the Mammoth as a land or not. Not in any particular rush to do that sort of thing, though. Alright, so I could shepherd back the apparition, prepare to take out Anax. I think, because I have this Healed's intervention, that shouldn't be necessary. So, we'll start with a nice attack. So let's say the card in their hand is Embercleave. Do I care? Worst case scenario, they like untap, they play a 1-drop creature and then can Embercleave their Anax and hit me for 12? How badly do I want to keep up Healed's intervention? I guess I just will keep it up. There's not really any reason not to. Okay, top 1,000 undefeated on this stream. Don't even remember if that was the 4th match or the 5th. I think it was the 5th. And we have time for at least one more, so let's see if we can keep the undefeated streak going. Well, when I'm dunking my own rankings, Snow Monkey, it's so I can find a cool deck to show you all. And then sometimes I just don't find one and we end up playing someone else's cool deck instead. Alright, so this hand is awkward, but we're gonna do it. We're up against Yorion. So I think I want to just... The worst card by far against Yorion is Lovestruck Beast. It just gets kind of dunked on by Skyclave Apparition and accomplishes very little. Keeping like Giant Killer in a pile of 5-drops seems like it leaves something to be desired, though I think I'll put back Giant Killer. No, wait, I didn't actually want to play this. Oh. Obviously Forest Token is better. There's no reason to do that trapped on turn 1. Just Instinct took over, chat. Felguy, we are undefeated. Things have been good. Now we're getting just ultra punished. Ultra punished for some bad sequencing. The chip damage really does matter. Okay, black something Yorion here. Gotta make a choice about which spell we're gonna most want to cast. I think I want the double green for Vivian here. Yep, Miles, I would prefer to not to drawn it. If it was good against blue-white because it's very good against Dream Trawler, but pretty medium against the what we're seeing here. By medium, I mean bad, because that's how Magic players use that word for whatever reason. Alright, well, if at first you don't succeed, try again, chat. So is this going to be Esperoni, or just black-white? Or Mardu, maybe? Maybe just black-white. Huh. The Jerry Stone, I don't know, probably something like this deck. I think specifically green-white food might be the worst matchup for a deck like this, because it has 4 Apparition and 4 Wicked Wolf, which are the cards we don't want to see. Like, Yorion with enough anti-aggro elements is really tough, because that can often go over the top of our deck. We kind of won our match against Yorion that we played by the skin of our teeth. Actually, wait, did we win 2-0? We might have actually won 2-0. It felt very bad. It felt the whole time like we were just losing and dying, but we might have actually been fine. Okay, well, if we're not going to find another land, I'll take more Lovestruck Beasts. Have to see if our opponent can actually keep stopping these. Alright, would love a land to just hit the CCD and get my Lovestruck Beast back, please, pretty please. Is what it is. Is what it is, chat. Sadly, this is going to turn off my ability to use either of these spells next turn, even if I do find the land, but I guess we get to... Do I draw the card here, or do I just get in for 2 with this right now? I guess I'm actually just going to get in for 2 with this right now. Because, like, I can just play it next turn because I'm not going to play these anyway. Alright, Elspeth's Nightmare is, of course, devastating in combination with all the rest of this stuff, but at least there's not a Doom Foretold coming down right now. And Charming Prince also slightly devastating, sadly. Yeah, this is tough. Opponent just curved out well. We missed the land drop that was, like, our most important land drop. Although ECD going away is nice. Fairy Guide Mother can... Shouldn't say rude things about Fairy Guide Mother, chat, but I was about to say some rude things about where Fairy Guide Mother can go. But we had the chance to win. We had the chance to win with a 3 straight Lovestruck Beast. It just wasn't quite enough. Doggart, I feel like you, of all people, know a bad card when you see it, and yeah, the Guide Mother is crap. Pretty sure the Guide Mother is just crap. Oh, they just had the Yorion in hand, so we're dead? Feels pretty dead. We have a Vivian, but that's not very helpful. We lose Giant Killer. Well, yeah, biggest thing is just Prince blinking Yorion. Us having no Skyclave Apparition to break up this loop is quite bad. Alright, I guess we'll try it. I guess we'll try fighting it out a little bit with Vivian. I don't have high hopes for this working, but especially with the land on top, but we're going to try it. Yorion's about to come back, so I need to not attack with anything right now. We will go for some reach. I'll give it one more turn. I expect at the end of this next turn we're just going to want to give up. Yeah, this matchup is probably a nightmare for this deck. Just a deck that's mono removal and then has an incredible late game value engine that they get for free. Well, that's not great. Okay, well, because that's not a removal spell letting them kill Vivian, I guess I hang out a bit longer. If I can hit like Skyclave Apparition to hit Charming Prince off on like the top of my deck, we might be able to get there. Shepherd of the Flock. And land on top means we're dead. Okay. So this deck, what are we doing here? As always, Fairy Guide Mother just too bad to be good. ECD's in, Heal Adds Intervention's in. I guess this is probably supposed to be the Garrick's Harbinger matchup. This card is like reasonably difficult to answer for some of the removal. And then maybe I'm cutting Skoos? You're not a Dance the Mance deck. The Mardu deck sometimes can bring in Kroxa from the sideboard, but that's really mostly a thing for rogues. I'd be surprised if they were doing that for us. We stick with 4 Skyclave Apparition just because taking out things like Charming Prince is so important. Yeah, I think I'm dumping Ooze here. I guess this does kind of screw up my curve pretty badly. Yeah, the curve is hurt by this, but I think Garrick's Harbinger is good enough to be worth trying anyway. Good point, Pig Norton. Good point. Probably we should just keep them in. Yep. Yep. We keep for edge walls. We keep for edge walls that can dodge removal and opponents that mull to 5. That's a good start. That's a good start. Hack Mage, I don't know. We'll probably think about that after this match when I do kind of a wrap up and figure out how I want to shift the deck. Cerizian, that's the thing I've thought about doing, for sure. I think I'm putting this back. I think I want to make sure I'm hitting land drops here. Yes, I definitely want to make sure I'm hitting land drops here. Okay, well, we now get to do the fun thing where I jam Edgewell Keeper and then hit Shift Enter as fast as I can to make sure my opponent doesn't see the Shepherd of the Flock floating around. And now we see if they're going to go for a nice Blood Chief's Thirst. Nope. Cool. Every Shepherd. You love to see it. Cerizium. If Clackbridge Shore were just an 8/8 trample haste for 5, I still don't think it would be that good. So I don't know about breaking that one. Alright, do we want Wilt over something? Probably not. Alright, we're just running it back. We're just running it back. Brain's starting to hurt, so we're just gonna do this simple thing. It would be good, but it wouldn't be like dominant, right, Pig Norton? Like, think about Elder Gargaroth, right? I think in red it would be very strong. You'd see a lot of play in red, but like in black, is Clackbridge Troll really going to be what pulls together a mono black aggro deck? It dies to Heartless Act. That is 3 Giant Killer. That is more Giant Killer than we want in this matchup. All right, let's hand us some magic cards. We will. We dumping Skyclave? No, I don't want to do that. I mean, ship the list, Dogger. Ship the list, but I'm feeling dubious about your proposition here. Well, yes, Sandro, but I have 4 lands in my hands. The question is which one to put back. I think having Questing Beast is more important than having Apparition here, so we're going to put back up Plains. Although being able to hold up Shepherd of the Flock while doing a variety of things is also strong. Alright, drew another double white card immediately. Yeah, this matchup's just always going to feel pretty bad. We're not quite consistently aggressive enough. We don't have a card like Into the Story that just like pulls us back from the brink whenever we need it. Escutcheon, it's not a great card, but it's one of those cards that can punch above its weight, so given that we mulliganed on the draw in a bad matchup, Questing Beast is one of those cards where if they happen to have a bunch of glass caskets or something, it might actually be able to do some good work. Yeah, Dogger, is this deck good? I feel like I've seen people playing Naya Winota and they were always just losing whenever I looked at them playing. Alright, so opponent just adds Yorion to hand and passes back, sure. I guess we're gonna go with Kazandu Mammoth. Dodges Elspeth's Nightmare, can get glass casketed, can get skyclaved, but if they skyclave us, we can skyclave them back. And sort of have a little bit of offensive presence going. Okay, well, here's a Questorino. I assume something's getting Heartless Acted or Scorching Dragon Fired or something. Another thing I can do is just attack with it, and then when the opponent removes it, I just bounce it back with Shepherd and play it again. Maybe I just do that. You know, I'm gonna do that. I just like, there's no way in hell our opponent doesn't have some kind of removal spell, right? Okay, maybe they did have no removal spell. Well, now I feel very silly, chat. I was so freaking sure the way they were just sitting there and waiting. But I guess they were just playing around Shepherd and now they're gonna kill something. Or are they just holding a Triome? Okay, they had the Heartless Act. They had the Heartless Act check. There was... The play we made actually dealt 1 extra point of damage to them. Now we see ECD, and then we ECD the ECD, and then we hope they'd have another ECD for the ECD, the ECD, the ECD. Well, if their play next turn is just hard cast Yorion, we're going to be in great shape. Undoubtedly. This is about as well as we could hope for the first 2 turns to go. Still dead to another ECD. Acquisitions Expert. God, I hate it. I hate it so much. I think we dump Giant Killer? Sheesh. Alright, so opponent's got Yorion coming out next turn. We're just gonna apparate the expert here. Make sure Yorion's not getting value for them. You could try something cute like Shepherd back the ECD to hit the Yorion, but then there's just so much value they can get. No Omen of the Sun's nice. Well, if they can't like get like a Treacherous Blessing or something and draw a pile of cards, we might end up being okay. Questing Beast comes down. We've still got Shepherd up. I have no idea what our opponent is going on. I'm sure it's bad for us, whatever it is, but we're going to try and hit them and succeed. I don't have any idea what's going on. Oh, you know what's about to happen, chat? We're about to get Ruinous Ultimatum is what's about to happen to us. Ruinous Ultimatum coming right up. But we can beat Ruinous Ultimatum because we have Questing Beast. Oh, Extinction Event. Okay, so they can name odd or even. Okay, I assume they're going to name odd, and then we just get to keep Questing Beast around, so we're going to let that happen. Because they need to actually stop Questing Beast. Okay, well, how about we don't do that? Oh boy, chat. Oh boy, the shepherds. The shepherds are herding our beasts safely home. Look at this cute sheep, chat. Look how cute this sheep is. Cutest sheep in the West. Oh, Doggart, yeah, I'm not coming to your birthday party. You should have known I wasn't coming to your birthday party. Well, ramp wouldn't make a lot of sense in this deck, but I think there are better things we could be doing. Can I play like 3 more Shepherd of the Flock? That's what I actually want to do. Meanwhile, I guess we should have figured out a way to have more, we couldn't have had more white mana than this. Chop. Lateral Bolt of Pain. Chop. Okay, smash with Questing Beast, and I am not putting down this Shepherd of the Flock. We are, at all costs, going to save the Shepherd of the Flock. You talking about Charming Prince, Hackmage? But when you say Blinky Boy, is that what you mean? Because, like, I don't know if Charming Prince really does anything in this deck. We have, like, no actual comes into play cards. Alright. Alright. One life, chat. One life. That's a Vivian. So I think we just kill Yorion here. We kill Yorion and we just try to kill them with Questing Beast on the following turn. Like, casting Questing Beast and leaving it vulnerable to stuff doesn't seem right. I think we just take advantage of the haste. All their Treacherous Blessings are turned off unless they can gain some life, because that locks them out of ever casting a spell again. Woo! Cannot believe we won that match, chat. Look at that. Look at that. Green-White Adventures, chat. That was incredible. That was an incredible game. Incredible match. And yes, Jofu, that's exactly what I'm picturing. Questing Beasts roaming the hills of Scotland. No, Eddie. The only creatures they have that can block Questing Beast are more Yorions. So they'd have to have like a 3rd Yorion, and then we'd have to draw an untapped land to use. I think it's better to cast a creature that actually can attack and reduce their board size. And also to spend our mana efficiently so that, for example, we can just play Questing Beast into Giant Killer on the next turn if we don't have a land. Yeah. Or like Innkeeper, Killer, Shepherd or something. But I don't know, I didn't do the math. Maybe that was better. Okay, so we came right up to 9 o'clock. We're coming right up to 9 o'clock at the end of the stream. So what I'm actually going to do now is What do we want to do instead of Fairy Guide Mother? First step, make sure there are no adventure cards we're forgetting about that are good. Doesn't look like we're forgetting anything particularly good. Ardenvale Tactician actually probably better than Fairy Guide Mother, but that's not saying much. Flaxen Intruder will occasionally have some text against decks. I think this is worse than Fairy Guide Mother. Yeah, all the stuff is straight unplayable. What are other green and white creatures that exist in this format? So we're gonna do the classic, like, look at all the cards that are not commons and see what stands out. So we've got all right, cut the Fairy Guide Mothers. We got Alciad, we've got Fight as one. These are all playable cards. We've got Selfless Savior. Charming Prince really doesn't do anything in the deck besides Blink Skycleave Apparition, which just doesn't seem like enough to be playing a 2/2 for 2. We could bring in more Scavenging Ooze. We've got these sideboard cards to consider. Bronzehide Lion is another option that we'll get to at some point. So there's Glass Casket, there's Luminarch Aspirant is pretty good aggressive card. Has a lot of flaws in the current format, but it's very powerful. There's Hushbringer. Hushbringer does turn off our Skycleave Apparitions and our Great Henge, but is very good against Yorion. It's a card that I could see in the sideboard somehow, maybe. The Garruk's Harbingers were not very impressive. I imagine these are supposed to come in against rogues or something, but I just was underwhelmed by them. So that's the thing I might think about replacing at some point. We've got Seasoned Hallowblade. That's a playable Magic card. We've got Basri Ket is not playable. I love this card. Having more 3-drops is probably not what the deck needs with this huge clump of 3-drops, but I do think Lava Adventure is sweet. All the Skyclaves exist. Elspeth Sun's Nemesis exists, but isn't very good, I don't think. Basri's Lieutenant doesn't really have any synergy in the deck. Cub Warden doesn't have enough targets to mutate onto. Fellow Retreat doesn't really do much for us. We're not really making lots of extra land drops. Mothra is funny, but I think if that card were playable, someone would have found out how to do it by now. Swarm Shambler is probably awful. Can't imagine that card not being awful. Derail works with Innkeeper, but nothing else really. Lotus Cobra just strikes me as being pretty bad. It just dies to a lot of stuff. It doesn't ramp us that impressively. We don't have like 4-drops to ramp into, really. Horn Beetle's kind of cute with Lovestruck Beast and Kazandu Mammoth Landfall and Questing Beast, I guess. Seems pretty bad, but maybe. Florahedron lets us boost our land count. I love Wildborn Preserver. It's probably really bad, but I do love it all the same. There's not a lot of mana to go around in this deck, though. Sonic, holding up 2 mana is just really hard to do. Holding up 2 mana is really hard. Why is this card not playable? First Row in Games is so cool. It should be good. It's just not. Somehow it's just not. Anguirus, we have too many humans for really doing mutate things. More 5-drops isn't really what we want, so we can skip through this. Getting to green, white, we have Bronzehide Lion. We've got Bronzehide Lion. We've got Bronzehide Lion. Yes, we also got Yasharn. This card's kind of interesting. The fact that it shuts off the food decks. I wanted this in the sideboard somewhere, but maybe it could be a main deck card. Okay, so we've officially got some cards worth considering, and what do I want to start testing with? Yeah, Doggard, I agree with that. Horn Beetle is probably much worse than Lion, so we're just gonna get rid of Horn Beetle. Yeah, something like 2 Bronzehide and an Ooze seems kind of okay. We have so many tap lands, I don't mind going lower on the 1-drop count. Selfless Savior is cool. Fight as 1 seems too bad, it just doesn't work against Glass Casket, Skyclave Apparition, that sort of thing. I'll see it having mana up is too hard. I really want to like Luminarch Aspirant, but it's not great. Yasharn is definitely more of a want than a need. It's not a card we need to play by any means. Dog versus cat. Dog versus cat. Dog versus cat. Dog versus cat. Maybe Pig Norton, maybe. There's also like, I could like cut the number of Fairy Guide Mothers, maybe I don't have to get rid of it entirely. It's just weird, like I feel like we played like 7 matches and Fairy Guide Mother in theory is supposed to help you fly over clogged boards and finish people off, but we never had to do that because Edgewell, Innkeeper, and the Great Henge just did it for us. Like, part of me almost wants to have, like, the 3rd ECD in the main, also. That could be a thing. Just play this as, like, a little bit more of a controlling deck. Like, we could lean into the aggro side with Maul. But what if we just lean into the control side a bit more? Like, let's pull the 3rd ECD into the main. We didn't see any rogues on ladder, and ECD is really only bad against rogues. Pull Yasharn to the side for the food decks. Pull out a Harbinger and put in a 2nd Yasharn. And then in the main we can cut the Preserver, cut the Hallowblade, cut the Aspirant, and get maybe get 2 Lions in. I feel like I'm going to be disappointed by Lion, but at least maybe I'll be disappointed by it in a different way that'll help me understand what's going on. Although, man, Guide Mother drawing cards with Innkeeper has been really good. Alright, new plan. If y'all want to test things in this deck that are not Guide Mother, try it. I'm just going to cut 1 Guide Mother and put in 1 card that actually does things. ECD. And we'll try it like that. Maybe we could put in a 3rd Questing Beast also. I was impressed by Questing Beast in several of those games. Alright, this is the new deck. We're playing 1 Guide Mother for good luck, and as a 13th adventure creature. We're on 3 Beast. We could be on 3 Ooze, maybe. Maybe that's better, but I'm trying 3 Beast, 3 ECD. Currently we're on 12, 16, 19, 23, 27 lands. So I feel okay about the land count. We could try to get another land in if we were worried about raising the curve too much. That's the thing I'll consider. But I'll start here and we'll see if that's too clunky. Alright, that's the new version of the deck. I'm probably going to monkey around with it a lot before the arena open because I do like playing this a lot. And apples and fruits, maybe it is. I mean, the adventure package was really impressive tonight. And I have found that the food decks, I think the key thing about the adventure package is you can play 3 mana 5/5s.
That's the goal.
The food package just dies to Teamer a lot of the time and dies to slower Yorion decks because it can't put pressure together. Whereas this deck, you saw like the games we just won with Questing Beast, or we were able to like get a bunch of attacks in and actually like build a big board and smash our opponent. Wandermare is too slow, yeah, Bushwhacked. You can't play a 3 mana creature that is not a 5/5 and doesn't do anything when it comes into play and doesn't draw off Innkeeper. And Rolo HS, thanks for the follow. And yeah, we've settled on a new version of this deck to try. And we're going to try it out. The best thing Godmother did notably was blocking, like blocking so that our Vivians didn't die. So that might be a thing it's really good at. And now we're going to see if there's anybody who we can raid. Thanks for hanging out tonight, chat. Remember to take the survey if you haven't yet, !survey, so you can help me figure out what kinds of gimmick streams I might want to run in the future. Stone Rain, thanks for the follow. And sorry for the noise there for a second. Who's playing? Rumpty is doing Gruul. Jason Florent is doing Alright, so Rumpty's playing Gruul, Jason is playing monored. Alright, you know what? I can appreciate a monored streamer who's in the top 100. We're gonna go watch Jason Florent, folks. Send you over there now. And good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out, and I hope to see you on Friday.